I wasn't sitting in spectator slot. Beautiful.
Oh, really? No, you have to just.
It's alright. Yeah.
Yeah. Silly Mangy.
I think the lag is fixed now, guys. We have spent the past 6 minutes trying to sort that out. Just trying to sort some stuff out right now. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties is it's always fun. It's always fun. Alrighty, yeah, so Emperor's gonna come in and join us for this one. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna get him in now. Just quickly, the blind bands were Rally, Marshal of Arms, Ophelia, and Parasite. So, you can take the locks while I get him in here.
The locks coming out though, we've got Bubbles, Keeper of the Forest, and Tempest so far. Whoop. It sounds like we're getting a Skype
Bet
call.
you up too much?
I can hear the ringing.
Yes, that's right.
Hello.
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, not much. Just trying to get in this game.
Awesome.
What's a player name I can join off of?
I
Nova?
whispered you one.
Okay. Got one.
Nova as well, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, well, that'd be an easy one, eh?
Sorry, I didn't even notice. I'm kind of. We've been having lag issues with our good old Australian internet, so
Oh no.
just been sorting that out for the past probably 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
But the locks coming out so far, we've got the Bubbles, Tempest, and Keeper, as you'd expect. Pharaoh. Embry is looking at his last lock too. Are you in?
I'm loaded up now. Yeah.
Awesome.
I finally
Awesome.
got it. All right. So.
So we're all in now.
Hearing for now. Yeah.
We do have a 6-minute delay, but that's what you'd expect from a tournament.
Yeah, I can say I've been able to do a 3-man cast before, so it should be fun. I've watched a few.
It sometimes gets a bit messed up. Like it's sometimes a bit hard to include everyone in there, but we can make it work. We can make it work.
Yeah. More like commentary at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit out of my frame of reference here, so I'll let you carry on.
Like
Alrighty,
a
the final
child
looks are
walking
gonna
into
be...
the movie halfway. The final looks, we actually see
Also
Engineer
like
get
that.
locked this time, which is kind of cool. He did get banned out last game. But do you want to cover the bans, Mangy?
Bands are coming out extremely fast. We've got Predator, Deadwood, Moon Queen, Fade, and Pebbles. Predator, we've seen just go off. Like last game, we saw it go off. I've seen a lot of teams pick it up. Some teams don't think it's that, like something the teams think it's overhyped. What do you think, Emperor? What do you think about the Pred?
Well, I think after seeing more recent results of Predator going up against hyper-farmed artilleries, or even that farmed bushwhack game we saw in the grand finals of the qualifiers, I think we saw what he's capable of. I mean, that was pretty much a fully slotted bushwhacker close to, and he was taking him out in like 4 or 5 hits. It's absolutely being monstrous. So
It's insane. I don't think people should doubt the Pred. Everyone like that tells me, it's OP and TMMs, but that's it. Like, they're wrong. You're wrong. It can be played, and it's an extremely good hero.
Yeah. It seems like it's very capable of spiraling out of control very fast, and is pretty strong early mid-game carry. So yes, there are ways of dealing with it, but if you're not drafting those ways and in advance and preparing for it, yeah, I think you can get smashed. Pandemonium, for instance, is pretty damn good at dealing with a Predator.
That's one hero that, Ale's pretty keen to pick up, but like I don't see a lot of other teams picking that one up.
Well, Complexity picks it up if they're wrong. DK.
Yeah. I'm just, goddamn, I've got ads going in the background, fun times.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're all sorted now. I'm back in. I'm just a bit disorientated at the moment. Been studying for like 30 hours straight. Dan, we are getting the picks going, and I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, so we got the Magmas so far for the Waveya team. and Monkey King and a Luna picked up so far for ITS. I'm not a huge. This is just me personally. I'm not a huge fan of Monkey King, but I believe he does have his place, especially with that displacement. I think it becomes really awkward if you end up putting a Monkey King and an Engineer on the same team. While it can work really well with his energy field, I think it starts to fall apart if you don't have great coordination with the Keg Stun and the and the Steam Turret.
In terms of laning, yeah, when he's flicking him around, it can be pretty tough to land. You have to usually use it after he does his flick and slows him down for you. But yeah, with the energy field, it's nice. By the way, they did pick up a Luna here, so that helps and makes that mid lane combination a bit easier.
As long as you don't get any flicks out of the power throw, kind of.
Right. And you saw the Torture and the Witch Slayer coming out from Team Waveya. What do you think about that? I'm pretty sure Torture is going to be played more of that support role, and they're more standard, obviously, is the Witch Slayer, more solo, not carry Witch Slayer per se, but that solo / ganker rush portal key Witch Slayer. So
Witch Slayer, I don't feel it's a really strong support hero. Like I've seen it played okay in the support role. I just feel there's so many better heroes.
Well,
yeah. That's
yeah, but it is a Torture support, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's probably definitely the Witch Slayer in that solo. I'd be super surprised to see Witch Slayer played as a support. I dislike it personally. I've seen Z-Freak do it, but like I think it can do so much more. Just watching a Pyro, the burst comes out, it's insane, and Witch just doesn't have it's got the mana drain, and I don't know. I just don't like Witch as a support. As a solo, it's really nice. So
I think it's sort of nice as a solo here against the Monkey King lineup, though. I mean, if they're actually able to get it going, I think he sort of beats down Monkey King as the game goes on. I mean, he prevents a lot of the mobility and locks him down and kills him really quick because Monkey King doesn't have the highest max HP, and he really relies on that mobility, and Witch Slayer thrives on his lockdown. So I think it's a pretty solid pickup in that regard.
I think as well, if they force the Hellborn team to somehow run like a Keeper Suicide or a Keeper offlane, Witch Slayer... Oh, no, they pick up Keeper themselves. I was going to say Witch Slayer can really shut down a Keeper of the Forest in the offlane, obviously with that mana drain, the tether range being huge, being able to take away his mana so he can't Nature's Veil is usually quite powerful, but they decided to get a Keeper of the Forest for themselves, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Hellborn team pick up maybe Tempest, just because it is Tempest, and then that leaves Legion team open to get something like a Pharaoh or Wild Soul.
Yeah, you can't allow the Legion to get a Tempest Keeper.
The Pharaoh would make a lot of sense. Wild Soul's really strong lately, but leaving that Pharaoh open might explain why they went the Keeper, because then they have the Keeper and the Pharaoh to deal with the Tempest here. So
yeah, I was just about to say I'd be surprised if they don't pick up the Pharaoh. So
I don't know, but you look at their team, right? And they sort of needed a little bit more carry presence because it's going to be a support Torture.
Yeah, and, very true. Very true. Yeah. You can't really rely on that Witch Slayer or the Magmus to take that kind of carry role, per se.
Yeah. So that actually does make a lot of sense, and he's pretty strong in that side lane. What do you think about the Keeper versus Tempest matchup though?
I hate it, man. I hate it. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, but when you come to choosing versus Keeper versus Tempest, given that they have a Wild Soul, and Wild Soul usually takes more of that suicide slot, we'll have to see where Keeper actually winds up laning here. He has a ward on him, but when Keeper's actually played in a passive jungle role instead of I don't like Keeper since the patch, I should say, in the jungle, because I feel like, especially with the added benefits to ganking, Tempest versus Keeper in team fights usually favors the Keeper a little bit, although it's still a standoff. I feel like since the patch and the increased benefits to ganking, the Tempest ganks and the control coming out from like a Parasite or a Tempest or an aggressive jungler potentially means so much more.
Yeah, ganking definitely means a lot more, and Keeper jungle, just being that passive junglers kind of got stomped to the ground. We were seeing a bit of a peak with Lego was coming out a little bit towards the end of the patch, but when the patch comes out, you can't run a Lego anymore. You just, especially in a jungle role. I think maybe a lane cutting Lego would be kind of cool, but in a jungle role, it just doesn't seem to work out.
Yeah.
And just passive jungles in general.
Yeah. Seems to just get overrun your lanes.
We're in the competitive pause. And I saw Mangy disconnect. So is that?
Yeah, That's me crashing and coming back in now. Don't mind me. My computer is like, I don't know what is going on right now. I'm having like huge amounts. I've let a woman touch my computer and that just done.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I can't do anything about it now, but loading back into this game, hopefully it's not gonna trouble me too much after this. But
Yeah.
always feels a bit weirder after someone else plays with my settings or just
Even if it's exactly the same, they just touch it and it's just completely different at that point.
yeah. I actually can't even watch this game right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's it won't let me press F6 to take it out of the menu stage, and I'm stuck in locked in the top right hand corner of the map.
You mean F10? F10 should drop you out of the menu, surely.
F10 closes the game, doesn't it? I disabled it.
No.
No, I tried F10. Doesn't work either.
So you're stuck in the corner by the well.
Dude, I will send you a screenshot just so you understand where I am. So I'm gonna have to use dual cast this. I was keen for a tri-cast, but it looks like I'm gonna
you're booted Han, right? And it still does
yeah,
that?
that's I reboot. After I crashed, I rebooted. Because I was trying to make.
Were you sitting when the game started?
No, I wasn't actually. Is that what's
yeah,
the deal?
okay,
Yeah.
So I think you actually need to disconnect and wait 5 minutes and then try to get back in. Yeah, because that way you auto disconnect or something like that. I had that happen to me. I've been able to log into another account that had spec access and then access it that way because it wasn't tied in. But it's I think it's because of the fact that you weren't sitting. It creates that bug.
Righty. Well, I'll give you
to wait 5 and then
yeah.
So we'll, well timed here. A little bit of foresight coming in to replace Mangy with that error.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming in so you can roll in and take my position as I just chuck the biggest dirt moment of my life. And of course, I aim to blame women for it. So, first step.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with Mangy unable to cast the
way.
match, I've got a position open with the SG team casting Vin Diesel. If you're keen, man. I'm not sure if you've got any experience, but the pay's not great, but the work is hard.
I'm really eager. I'm really keen to try it out. Let's do it.
We're in.
And you get a little bit of sample work right here, actually. So, all right. Taking a look at the lanes, I do think it's going to be more that Witch Slayer versus this Bubbles Suicide. Looks like they're sending Bubbles down there, and if they do choose to run this matchup, Witch Slayer does absolutely demolish a Bubbles. And with that Mana Drain, he can't do anything. Makes a normally pretty slippery hero in Bubbles that's very difficult to gank, a lot easier to pin down.
With Bubbles, do you think you'll level take cover early? Because that does stop the mana drain instantly, if I'm correct.
It does stop the mana drain, but it is still an investment at that point. So, and you can still get it off during the stun phase. So you stun to harass, right? Even level 2 stun, then you start the drain. And then if you already have a couple seconds of the drain, and then he uses the take cover, he's losing even more mana. So either way, it's pretty positive. He probably would get take cover regardless. It's a thing,
I agree. I think you should get take cover, but a lot of the suicide Bubbles, especially since it's been kind of a 1v1 setup for a long time, they've been opting to get that 1 second silence because it's a big
potential.
Yeah, it's a big boost. It's a 0.1 second to a 1 second silence. It's not a small thing. So there's a big jump from level 1 to 2 on silence, and there's a lot of reason to get it. And I have seen a lot of people opt for that one.
Well, I don't think it's bad, honestly. It really does depend on your lane matchup.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. A lot of Bubbles, when they know they're going to suffer, they'll get that extra point of silence, too, when they really need it for their team. And, he's going with the Tempest, bigger AoE, bigger damage could mean it. I would still expect it more so. More curious is the fact that actually that we're seeing Nova play it, and not as confident that he's going to the side lane anymore. Actually, it looks like they're running more of an aggressive setup here with the Monkey King, and Nova is playing more in that, quote-unquote carry role, slave lane role. So actually looking at the player-hero combination, that would have been interesting to note, and I think he knows about the potential matchup flaw, but taking a look at where Witch Slayer is heading in, they're sending him mid now, being perceptive to it. So I guess they kind of detected that they were going to mix things up, and Witch Slayer going to go mid instead. And he actually, I think Witch Slayer changed up his item build or not?
I can't see it, man. It's all on you.
I don't know. Either way, he didn't play for that safe lane matchup. So yeah, he is going for the bottle rush and Witch Slayer solo mid, which has been notoriously weak for how easy it is to crumble versus dual lanes.
Yeah.
Perhaps they were expecting the Witch Slayer to go up against that Monkey King, as you said, trying to take down a relatively squishy hero, but Magma's Torture going in bot against Monkey King and Luna. We've got the mid matchup is Witch Slayer versus Meraxis, and then the top lane, you see Keeper of the Forest jumping into the back there up against Nova on that Bubbles. As you said, a little bit peculiar that he's playing the short lane, but then again, it is Nova. He is playing that carry role for
no,
iTS.
he actually swapped out. I was talking to Nova personally today, and he's swapping that out with Bless, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be playing carry anymore.
Okay,
That's
so
just something I'd note, like, just a side note.
on the side, yeah.
Because I was having a bit of a chat to him, and yeah, he was just saying he's swapping out that he's not going to be playing hard carry anymore.
Yeah, a bit of perceptiveness as to why they sent that aggressive lane bottom too, is they knew they could get away with a setup like this, given the fact that there is going to be a passive jungler. In this game, they actually chose to run the Wild Soul in that slot. If there's something I don't like even more than, Keeper jungle, I mean, Wild Soul's in the same boat. Wild Soul's in the same boat, man. Honestly, that they can't really get active and do anything, except for rare situations.
Wild Soul can... I think there's more chance of Wild Soul ganking pre-level level 6 than there is a Keeper. So I like him in the jungle more than a Keeper if you're going to chuck both on the same team. I don't particularly like either of them in the jungle, in fairness, but if you have to choose one, I think Wild Soul's the one that can probably get active more. And yeah.
Ooh, mid lane, Witch Slayer in a lot of trouble. He actually stays alive that little bit longer, chugging that bottle, trying to dish out some damage to Meraxis in return. He's only level 3 though, so I don't think he's going to get in range. Doesn't have the miniature eyes, but he's going to survive a little bit longer.
Yeah, in a raw 1v1, man, Witch Slayer is one of the stronger ones out there. Witch Slayer, Polywog, and straight 1v1s. It's due to the strength of their level 6 ultimates, man. And in general, pretty good laning before then, so yeah.
Is it a 1v1 mid? Is that what's going down? Like...
Yeah, it's Witch versus Meraxis, which, that's definitely in favor of the Witch.
Yeah. If there's anything I miss, it's 2-1-2 lineups. The old 2-1-2, man.
Yeah.
So I like seeing a 1v1 mid. I think it allows the mid to get active early. Well, not even early on. Like you get that.
Meraxis actually jumping really well here. Witch Slayer. Oh, sorry, bottom lane as well. A little bit of action. Luna getting out on a B's Digger health. Witch Slayer getting into a similar position in mid. Magma's still trying to dish out a bit of damage to that peeking duck. So action happening at the same time in both lanes there. Looked like in the mid, Witch Slayer had started doing a bit of mana drain onto Meraxis. Meraxis manned up and got a stun off before Witch Slayer could run out of there. Bottom lane still quite close. I'm going to have to try and keep my eye on both of these. I don't want to miss that Bloodlust kill.
Yeah, that's unusual, man. This Meraxis actually forced the Witch Slayer back to lane because he got that regeneration rune, and meanwhile the top rune what was camped by the Tempest, I believe. So, yeah, Meraxis edging him out. Man, lucky regen rune pickup. It's not often you see Meraxis get any sort of control here against a 1v1 in the Witch, but pretty crazy.
Top lane, actually the Forest taking a bit of damage there. He is trying to get off into the trees to get that Nature's Veil off, but the Ward of Revelation just getting out of range in the end. I think Bubbles is probably going to be able to. Bubbles is going to be able to shell surf onto him in 1 second. Is he going to do
perceptive enough?
Oh, he shell surfs in the other direction. So that is the definition of a B's Digger health there. Keeper of the Forest is out of mana though, so he's going to have to walk past this Ward of Rev to get out of there, and they're definitely going to see him. He's got to know it's there as well. He picks up a TP, and he's got to wait another 15 seconds before he can teleport out with the kind of mana regen he's got. Bottom lane, though, Lava Surge from Magma's coupled with a great chain reaction stun from Torturer, and the Bloodlust kill goes down. Monkey King, though, could be trying to get a bit of a counter kill onto Magma's. Great blocking coming up from Torturer, but with the dash, of course, the Monkey King is able to close that distance quite quickly and even dish out a bit of return damage to that Torturer. He's happy to stay in lane. The bottle chug getting cancelled pretty much straight away, but it looks like this lane is going to reset somewhat. So Keeper of the Forest did teleport out though in that top lane. He was able to wait it out until he got enough mana. And yeah, so 5 minutes in, 1-for-1 so far, but the Bloodlust kill in favour of the Legion team with a Luna going down first.
Yeah. And you actually saw, even though Witch Slayer had to walk back to base and walk back to the lane, could pretty much keep Meraxis 30 seconds free farm, if not actually a bit more. He actually still has regained lane control pretty much in the mid, so doing pretty damn well there. Not much Meraxis can do here against the mana drain yet.
Yeah. This
The
game's
shield
so
doesn't even work
interesting.
against the stun. Yeah.
I wish I could
Maybe
watch it.
You can't rejoin. Have you tried rejoining that? It's
I'm
actually
trying
been
now.
more.
Has it? Okay. I was just watching the timer because through pause times it doesn't count as the disconnect timer either.
Ah, true.
I am still stuck in the top right hand corner.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And it's been over the time now if I'm correct. So
Yeah.
No goodies for you.
I'm gonna have to leave this one for you guys.
All right.
Yeah, just hang out
I'm
another
here
5 or
if
6
you
minutes.
want to have a chat to me in the background, but I'll try and rejoin in another couple.
Mangy will
of
be in the
minutes as well.
chat of the Team stayGreen
Yeah.
channel. That's where he'll be. Magma's actually getting jumped on in the bottom lane. Great power throw coming out from Aluna. He's going to be able to lava surge away just to avoid that Monkey King. And a hasted torture are going to come in a little bit too late to provide any help, but a little bit of damage never hurt, and a little bit of damage never hurt to drive that Aluna out of the lane somewhat. And Magnus, of course, chugging that bottle. Looks like they're going to jump on the Aluna, though. The Lava Surge with a chain reaction coming out. A lot of damage with that last auto attack from Death Growl. Being able to turn that into a 2-to-1 overall. As Monkey Kings could be trying to do a bit of damage there. Magma's missing that Lava Surge due to the Wujin Slam and the Vault. But they are still dishing out a lot of auto attack on him. I think Torture could be in a lot of trouble here despite the red booties. Is he going to be able to move away? Magnus putting on enough pressure to drive that Monkey King back for now. I think Torture has got to get out of this lane though. Even though Monkey King is out of mana.
That was a big torture stun too, man, under the monkey there. Who was using that elusive dash, barely living because of it, so yeah. Pretty crazy.
This action's so hectic. Watching it, 6 minutes delayed, it's awesome.
6 minutes delay, yeah, all the lanes. A little bit, so. Tempest actually, I mean, he roamed out the bubbles, man, but he hasn't done anything since then. You'd imagine with Meraxis here, he could pretty easily try to set something up here on the switch, as we were talking about. I mean, it is a solo, it is nighttime. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't actually done anything as of yet. Just choosing to outlevel the Wild Soul more than anything, but not even. I mean, look at actually Wild Soul's pacing, man. He has his Alchemist Bones. He's sitting at 280 gold per minute, and shame on you, Tempest.
250. What? What is happening? I just got into this game. I'm in this game now, but damn it. There is no way a Wild Soul should be out leveling. It's just been jungle as well. There's no.
He can farm surprisingly fast, but there's zero harassment. And part of that, you have to actually go back to the fact that they have a Witch Slayer mid who can roam down if like an Aluna. Normally, Aluna is fantastic at harassing out a Wild Soul, but they have a dual lane bond and a Witch Slayer mid, so it's pretty easy for them to collapse with all those heroes. A lot of disable, a lot of gank. But meanwhile, Monkey King Dan is out here into the mid lane with the double damage rune.
He did get spotted out by that Wild Soul Bear, though.
Yeah.
With really good positioning from Probask.
Kill it.
He might be able to kill the bear here, but the stuns are coming in from Witch Slayer. Witch Slayer's pretty much out of mana, though, so he's not going to be able to turn it around too much. He's actually taking a fair bit of damage himself. With Meraxis joining the party, Tempest roams in, but just to clear-cut some trees, it looks like, with that element.
I don't know what they were doing there. Like, what? Why did they do that? They had clear vision of a DD Monkey King.
I think if Witch Slayer had more mana, it would have been a bit of a different fight, but I'm not sure why they decided to sort of fight that there.
Yeah, it felt like they were standing there, man, for a while. It felt like everyone was like Monkey King, the Wild Soul Bear with like no health, scouted him out. He was like standing there. I'm not sure if his camera was like watching somewhere else or what. But he started standing there, didn't do anything, and then meanwhile he was gonna go on Witch Slayer's just standing there, like no one's reacting to each other.
I'm so confused that fight. Probusk is one of those players that he can do an amazing job as well. I don't know what happened there. It was just maybe they were hoping for a lucky route that didn't come out, but you can't just hope for that. You gotta have some certainty. He had plenty of time to calculate if he had enough mana to stun ulti as well. So a really interesting set of plays, I suppose. Meanwhile, in the top lane, you see Keeper of the Forest picks up that Ring of Sorcery. So he does have that mana ring, and you've got the Witch Slayer trying to roam onto his bubbles. Bubbles chucking down that kelp field, and he's going to survive. Just walk on out of there.
Yeah, a little bit harder for him to catch that Bubbles too, especially without a point of morph. Bubbles did go for the naked route, no points in take cover, so just straight up for that team fight or the burst damage with his Song of the Sea. Already level 3, but still a little bit harder for him to catch people off guard.
Could be in a lot of trouble. Bottom lane, he's in the river, but after a stun from Aluna, no follow-up from the Peking Duck, and looks like Magma's just going to walk out of there. I believe he was going to go try and bottle up the rune, but I think Aluna might have camped it in that bottom lane first. So good rune control coming out from the Hellborn team, but a lot of the ward coverage seems to be in favour of the Legion at the moment. Oh no, they've both got sort of an even amount of wards, a couple of rev wards down there as well, so shout out to those supports who sometimes don't get enough love for doing that ward job. It's a bit thankless at times.
Monkey King jumping onto this Magnus at the bottom lane. He's going to get turned onto here, and goodbye Monkey King. Witchlayer wasn't going to let that one go and use the ultimate straight away. Aluna's in a lot of trouble right now, and he's going to get stunned by the Torturer, followed up by the Magnus. A bit preemptive there, but it's not like it matters. It's an Aluna that has just no escape mechanism, especially without leveling up that Deja Vu.
Yeah. And it's hard though, you can't really level it up as much since they did apply that nerf to, or you do need the bounces.
Yeah, that's...
occasionally, but...
It's not a one level wonder anymore with that stun.
Look at this Ward of Sight in range of the Megan Love's Ward of Rev. I think it was placed afterwards. I'm not sure if they actually know about it right away because I think it was placed at nighttime. I'm not sure if they actually saw the placement of it, but yeah, it's still sitting there in range, waiting to be countered.
The same kind of time as well. Like,
well, no, the Ward of Sight came in after.
Yeah. It's I haven't gotten onto that, which would be nice. It's another thing. Meraxis looks like he's trying to kind of set up mid. He's got illusions rolling around there, but he can't do anything. He's just going to kind of camp that top rune. Torture is going to pick up the regen and bottle that one up in the bottom and head to the bottom lane.
Ooh, bottom lane, in fact, Monkey King and Magnus are going toe-to-toe here. Looks like Torture is coming in to try and set up a chain reaction onto that Monkey King. Just catching him on the edge of it, of course, in the Lava Surge from Magnus. It's going to help guarantee it. Power Throw from Aluna going to get a kill before she goes down, it looks like, as she does get taken out from the Agonizing Bonds at the end. And top lane was it Tempest, Bubbles, and Meraxis moved in on the Keeper. Actually missed what happened at the top there. But Tempest didn't even use the ulti. I believe Kelpfield was used, but that's about it.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen Tempest have to use that ulti yet. I mean,
hasn't really been in the position to use it, I suppose. They've just been kind of statically pushing these lanes, so they're going to take top second tier tower. In return, of course, the Legion is going to take the first tier tower at bottom lane, and it looks like they're putting a lot of pressure. And this might be the opportunity Tempest has been looking for. He is porting in now, so wait.
Yeah, but they're perceptive to it, man. Like, they aren't even going to allow that Monkey to, catch Tort there off guard. They're backing off already, and it's kind of meant in this passive setup actually favoring the Legion side a bit more. As said, they have the Keeper to the Forest for the Tempest, kind of a neutralizing effect there, and on top of that, this Alchemist Bones Wild Soul, he had it super early, man, already up to freaking 323 gold per without even his mock yet, man. So
yeah, he's sitting at 2.5k right now. Still got the charges on his 2.7k. He's gonna have that mock probably like 17 minutes, maybe even before that.
Yeah, either way, ridiculously fast, and coming out there at that point, that's gonna make life even that much more difficult for him. So. Meraxis is farming for his PK, but of course Mock Wild Soul is going to be a thorn in his side as well.
I have to give the late game, like, for sure, to the Legion side, and I think we need to see a bit more active play. They've got a Tempest that hasn't used Hold yet, even using Hold on one hero to secure a kill somewhere around the place. Like, I will give a lot of credit, though, to the Legion side that hasn't really been putting themselves into a position to get ultimated yet, I suppose. Apart from that misplay at mid that I saw, it just really confused me. They've been doing extremely well this game.
Yeah. Kind of feel like they need to move away from that dual lane bottom at this point, though, and get their heroes out, because I felt like, they had two really powerful, Luna Monkey King down there. Those are heroes that can really easily set up your kills, and they were kind of rude here in this bottom lane. It's not often you see a Monkey King sort of
passive play.
Yeah, it's not passive per se, because it has been a dual lane. He has been a part of 3 kills so far, but yeah.
Just the roam potential from Monkey King allows so much. Nice stun coming out onto the Tempest. If he did have a PK, he wouldn't have got it off, so that's always a thing.
Now, we've seen, obviously, in the past, Tempests build a couple of different ways. A lot more push has been going into the Astrolabe Barrier Idol as opposed to into a straight Portal Key to get them a little bit tankier. Do you think that's more worthwhile here, especially with a Wild Soul going to be getting that Mock of Brilliance sometime soon?
It's hard to say, because, once again, they do have that Keeper who's kind of waiting. I'd say the Portal Key on the Keeper might be pretty important in a case like that, especially if Tempest chooses to go. And yeah, since they're on a timeline. See, one thing, they're in a timeline here going up against this Wild Soul with the Mock, as he's going to be graduating towards late game. So I actually kind of feel like they should still just go for more of that Astrolabe route and try to make things happen that way, especially going up against the Keeper. But Looks like he actually might be saving for it. Doesn't have any in the build-up yet, and he chose to go Steam Boots instead of a quicker Astrolabe, which actually does, Dan, lead me to believe that he is going for more to that portal key.
Yeah. Miraxus has his portal key as well, so we are seeing a couple of portal keys coming out. Magnus also picking up his, so we've got a fair whack of portal keys rolling around the map. I thought the Keeper of the Forest was going to invis and try and sort something there, but he opted out of that one. Witchlayer also picking up his portal key, so I'm actually surprised to see the Legion with the portal keys earlier. I just...
they do have that slight gold lead, and if they can jump in, obviously, with that Magnus and Torturer, that is a lot of initiation, a lot of lockdown. Hellborn's side, though, Bubbles decided to go for a light brand as opposed to a portal key, dishing out more damage, and his farm has been relatively unstopped, but he is sitting around 300 gold per minute. Miraxus with the portal key, of course. Monkey King awfully low after doing some ancients there, getting them a bit low. But he's going to bottle up. And
he needs to take those.
He does need to take those.
He can't leave those ones like that. Those ancients are going to go down, no problems.
It was the showcase tourney, I think, of the Runic Shift patch that we first saw that light brand, the Grimoire Power Bubble, I should say, what it's capable of. It was Slick's manning up and playing in that one game. So yeah, definitely it has a lot of magic damage. It makes sense for a hero like that and allows him to spiral. I think more to that Grimoire Shrunken Head route in a game like that. So
any caster that 6 plays, it seems like his first item, Grimoire Power. Like it gives that farming potential as well. Like something like Bubbles can use mana to farm, and like a lot of mana is required, of course, if you do farm. I actually missed a kill in the top lane.
Yeah, no, that was shot down by this Witch, man, who was camping for him. And I was going to say, another thing I liked about against the Bubbles, man, I mean, against Bubbles, against other mobility reliant heroes, Monkey King and Witchlayer is the man to go to.
You can really see like the power of him as well, like just the lockdown that he's got for this team. It's insane, and it's all targetable lockdown. It's really hard to miss kind of these stuns coming out. It's not a Pyromancer. I don't think top tier really, you worry about that too much, but Witchlayer lockdown, insane.
Oh no, but there's still a reaction time that's applied when you're dealing with a Pyromancer. When you're looking at Witchlayer, that morph is coming out instantly, man. So there's nothing Bubbles can do about it.
Yeah, especially with that portal key. So Bubbles is going to fall. Bubbles is, he's had a decent start. He's 315 GPM right now, even after that death. So he's not doing bad by any means, but it really comes down to the fact that they should have this early game advantage, I feel. And it's just they really haven't capitalized on the heroes. Actually, Magnus channeling ulti and going to jump onto the Bubbles. Bubbles is suffering right now. He does chuck up that kelp field, and he's probably going to live here. Actually, turning!
He's manning up. Needs another couple of auto attacks onto the Magnus. Magnus with that portal key. Great take cover from Bubbles.
Nova! Is he going to turn around and get this kill now? He's Nova! You're a god! You're a god among men, and this is why I have been following you for so long. Meanwhile, at the top lane, actually, we do see the... who was it that fell there? It was the... Did he just
Tempest?
Survive,
No, it's Tempest, man.
Tempest. I'm out of it, man. I've been up for too long. I was trying to. I've been studying all day, and then like I've had a friend down, and sorry.
You have
sorry,
girls
guys.
touching your computer, man. It's just not your day.
This just summarizes my week, like how just messed up it's been. Like I went to see Fast and Furious 6, right? And the cinema like shut down halfway through, so I didn't get to see the end. They refunded me a ticket, but like I don't know if I want to go see the start again.
Yeah, you can go see any movie again with that refund ticket, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but like now I'm never gonna know what happened at the end, so I'm just like lost. And this has been my whole week. It's just been fucked up.
Your game's working now, or what? I'm a little bit actually confused.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he is.
I mean,
he's just.
What was the fix? Just
he's
waiting
brain
more?
farting.
I'm just dying on the inside a little bit, man.
All right.
I looked and I was just like, who died? And I looked on the Hellborn side. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's someone on the Hellborn side. Like, it didn't click. I couldn't see the Tempest dead for some reason. But we go into it. I'm so sorry. It was
just another Witchlayer plus Torch jump. I mean, Keeper was there with the auto attacks, but he didn't have to use his root. So, once again, Root, Elemental Void not playing a role in this game, and Wild Soul literally has not been a part of the picture, man, at all. And he's sitting at 425 gold per minute.
This is the time I'm talking about. Like he's gonna come out and just annihilate. Like it's gonna happen sometime.
God, yeah.
I'm scared for the Hellborn side when it does happen. He does have that mock on the bear, of course. He's got boots on himself and the bear. Something to note though, Keeper the Forest has pulled up 3k, and I don't really agree with Keeper doing that. Like he could have gotten a utility item with that 3k. What's he saving it for? Is my real question.
I assume he'd be going for something like a Shaman's Headdress into a barrier idol at some stage as well. He'd be
Those all have build-up components, though, man. He's literally naked. I'm not sure if he's debating what to buy. Don't tell me he's picking up. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? He's in base right now. He's picking something up. I mean, he had to have just been waiting. He can get upgraded boots and a portal key at this point if he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly go portal key because, hey, they have a Magnus. They don't have to use the Magnus. I mean, okay, Witch Slayer is a great primary initiator, but when you have a Witch Slayer and things like that, you can never have too much initiation. I mean, say Keeper goes in, sets up a great mag ulti. The Witch Slayer can be looking for someone that might be caught outside the ultimate. Maybe the Bubbles is played back. Quick blink morph, interrupting their initiate that way. So I think it's good for them to get an extra PK there.
I completely agree, but I'm just surprised he's had this gold saved up, and this is like one of the things. Like there's a reason that I haven't been able to use that Keeper ulti. He's got red boots and a flippin' mana ring with 3k pulled up. You know, maybe it would have come into play if he got a portal key earlier and just had those red booties. Now he can get steam boots and a portal key. If he doesn't buy anything now, I'm done with Archie Tiger. Because I like that guy as well. I've watched him for a long time. I watched his stream for a while. I've had a lot of respect for that guy.
There we go. Starting to build the Shamans.
It's not a bad pickup. It's not bad. And, like, you know, if you look at it this way, it's not like they have to get aggressive. They have that Wild Soul, you know. They're not really worried about getting these early game initiations of it's the Hellborn side that needs to worry about that. So he just wants to tank up and be ready for it, I suppose.
I think he wants to be ready for that Nova playing the bubbles, man. He's been dishing out huge amounts of damage with the Light Brand, moving on to a Grimoire next. And, you know, Bubbles one of those heroes I always note, you know, whenever I check the damage charts, the hero damage charts in spectator mode, Bubbles is always right up there with the AoE Shell Surf, of course, and the AoE Song of the Sea, Kelpfield. And you put a Grimoire on him, and that's just increasing the massive amounts of damage and farm potential he's got. He is still quite squishy, and it looks like he can get shut down quite easily by a Witch Slayer, but perhaps it's going to help him get some of those next level items, like I would expect maybe a Sheep Stick or a Portal Key coming out from him at some stage as well.
Yeah, Shaman's not going to go for that rushed idol, though. He's actually picking up his Ghost March now, too. It's a little bit of a mishmash coming out from Archie Tiger, but
so many build-up items though that he could have had for like any point in the game. Like I don't think it's affected it too much. I'll just leave that as that. But still, I just having 3k pulled up, it just feels like a waste to me. But it looks like he is trying to set up something on the Bubbles right now. You've got the Magma sitting behind, but I think they waited a bit too long. Bubbles must know something's up.
Yeah, Miraxis has joined them as well. Actually, Miraxis coming in onto the Magnus, missing the Quake stun, of course, and he gets turned around on with the Root ability. They did not know the Keeper of the Forest was there. Wild Soul's here with his bear, of course, and Magnus still nearby. Monkey King joining the party, though, as we're going to see a big teamfight brewing. Lava Surge out from Magnus as Monkey King actually gets hit by that Eruption being channeled, and Witch Slayer's joined in, going to minimize that Monkey King and lock him down long enough for the Eruption to do work. Witch Slayer throwing out the Silver Bullet on the Miraxis. He's tanky, but he's not tanky enough as they're dishing out damage to the tower now. The Impalement, of course, and the Bear still just doing huge amounts of damage to the tower. They'll be able to get that tier 2, and it is 10-5 at the moment in favor of Waveya. And Bubbles ends up picking up that Portal Key instead of saving up for a Blessed Orb or something like that.
Yeah, and Tempest still nowhere to be found during all of that. It was still sort of farming away, so...
Tempest actually went for an Astrolabe, I'd like to mention as well. Like, didn't go for any build-up and just bought an Astrolabe. Like,
he did
I
have
don't like it at all. I feel like...
yeah, no, but like, he had like 900 gold saved up and he was just pulling it until he got like 1400. I don't know.
He's just... You'd have to compromise his positioning so much, man, at this point to even get an ultimate off, though. Like...
They really...
I just... It's the lack of aggression early on. I feel like they were playing this game in the wrong time frame.
Yeah.
You know, they were playing this game as if they wanted to go sort of to the 45-minute mark, I felt like.
Is this the Russian team? Is this the Russian team? Like, is this actual, like, the full-on Russian team? Like, I'm not sure if they have all their players.
These are the names that I recognize.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of all these players in the end. I heard there was a mix-up where a couple of the guys they were initially going to find as ringers aren't going to be able to make it, so they have two other ones instead that might be more Dota players. You know, I mean, this might be them as well. I need to double check on that, but yeah, I believe it's the the composition they're rolling with.
I'm just like, yeah. Maybe it's because they've come from the other client. Of course, they haven't been playing on international, and we have seen, you know, some of these teams being a bit behind, especially with the different regions, and like international always seems to be that step ahead. But yeah, I just feel that you're completely right. They're playing like yeah, I don't know. They're
not playing to their lineup strength, basically.
Yeah.
Look at it. They're not playing for the right window of opportunity for the game.
Because like when you look at that lineup, it looks like complete aggression. You know, you see ganks from Monkey, like even the per se farming hero, the Monkey King, is a hero that ganks a lot and gets farm off ganking rather than.
The Luna getting jumped on from Magnus and Witch Slayer, and the rest of the Legion team collapses, but probably didn't even need to. So Luna getting caught out a little bit there, thanks to an invis rune on the Magnus. Bubbles actually Portal King in and Shell Surfing out, as Tempest trying to get into a little bit of a position, it looks like, but he's going to get turned around on by the Witch Slayer and the Magnus, so I don't think Tempest even going to be able to get that Elemental Void off. The Legion team are probably in a position where they can try and break base now. The Tempest and the Aluna down. Looks like they're actually going to rotate bottom to do it because the tower's already down. And Boo Boo's going to start carving up that melee barracks.
Yeah, I mean, in a game like this, Tempest is never going to be able to... I'm honestly...
I'm just a bit disappointed.
They can't. They're too tanky now.
It's over. It's like, yeah. Wild Soul has joined the party and he is, as you'd expect, annihilating. And it's just simple as that.
The rest of the Legion team, of course. Bubble's not going to be able to get out of here, especially with that Monka Brilliance and the Torturer, who ended up going the Gnome's Wisdom, which I do like, and using a bit of that Torment. So you got the double AoE magic damage there, and using that Impalement to try and push that middle tower. ITS seems to not be giving up just yet, as they are popping that fortification.
I don't call early GGs often, but there's nothing they can do right now. It's Nova jumping in, doing a Moonmender, like jumping in, silencing, shell surfing out with the take cover ability. But this game is more than over at this point.
Yeah.
Especially with the barrier idol on Keeper of the Forest, they're able to keep the bear and the tree dogs alive. Hellborn team, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Tempest get off an ulti this game.
I think you're 100% right. I don't think the ulti has been used this game. That is.
No, I would be surprised to see it casted once.
That's not good. And like, it's still not opting for the portal key at this point to getting that Helm of the Victim. It's not.
Well, I mean, yeah, but at this point, honestly, I can't even criticize his pickups. They're just too far behind. They fell behind in the early game to a team that was playing with a Wild Soul jungle, so. It just goes back to their laning and how they chose to get aggressive in their movement, man. They just didn't make it happen. They kind of went neutral, actually lost a little bit in that early lane and gave the advantage there to the Legion side. And you know, they should be playing 4v5, man, on the Legion side. They should be playing 4v5.
That's exactly right. But I also got to say, you know, the Wild Soul, free farm Tempest, free farm Wild Soul won that farming battle.
Well,
and
Wild Soul's
Tempest
sitting at 600 gold per minute now.
No, I'm not even talking about now. Like he does, yeah. At 320 when Tempest had 280, like I've seen Tempest take off with 450 at 13 minutes. You know, like, and he was left completely alone. I just don't know what happened. It's just really unfortunate. This game has not gone in their favor. Like the Legion side knows how over it is. You've got Elder Parasite on the Magnus, who also has a shrunken head. So, you know. Elder Parasite on Keeper of the Forest as well, you know? It's just...
Yeah, Magnus and Elder and Keeper both picking up Elder Parasites, it looked like, and Boo Boo actually dishing out some damage. Witch Slayer jumping in to try and make something happen on the Monkey King. He has a Shrunken Head, hasn't been activated yet, he does get rooted, but he is still trying to turn around. Still taking a lot of damage, even if it is just from auto attacks with Wild Soul trying to close the distance. Luna does go down, there goes the Tempest ultimate, catching Witch Slayer and Keeper of the Forest. The root's going to come out in return though, as Nova was nowhere nearby to help capitalize on that, and even if he was, the amount of tankiness on the Legion team, they're going to push into base here, and I wouldn't be surprised to just see Megas, if not GG's called. As Witch Slayer actually jumps forward again with a portal key, trying to get a little bit of extra mana with that mana drain, and Monkey King's going to fall down. Eruption from Magnus just to get that overkill onto Bubbles. He is able to take cover, but he gets taken out in the end by Death Growl. And there go the GG well played. So Waveya taking it out for the round of 16 for the excellent tournament.
Yeah, I can't really fault them too much. They played really well all game. They took the early game when they probably shouldn't have taken the early game. I can't credit it to like amazing plays because I don't think I saw anything like particularly off the chain that game apart from the Nova kill on the Magnus, which was really cool. Like, that was the highlight of the game for me. But
yeah,
overall, I think it's just a lot of misplays from Hellborn side.
I feel like the Meraxes threw me off a little bit too, man. There in the mid lane, it was a little bit passive. I mean, they had the Tempest. I just feel like you have a Bubbles, man, and putting Bubbles in that safe lane. I didn't see him actually choose to get active and create that overwhelming advantage even after hitting level 6. You know, I know you want to push down the tower as fast as you can, but I just didn't feel the effect of it. I never felt like, oh man, Legion's fighting undermanned. And what we went back to, we talked about, you have to, when you're picking your lineup, you have to be like, there has to be this other little invisible time in your head being like your team's window of opportunity, you know? And when is that actually going to get so small that you can't do anything? So they have to have it in their heads, okay, we're going to have to try to play aggressive and take over this stage of the game because, you know, if we don't, we're going to lose anyway. So maybe we're going to take more risks. Maybe we're going to get more aggressive. And if we don't win during this phase, screw it, because we don't do that late game against this.
Yeah, they just didn't play their lineup, I suppose. And that's exactly what you're saying. You know, they should have had a timer in their head knowing Wild Soul was there. They had this just massive window where Wild Soul couldn't get involved. You know, and just didn't capitalize on it. They could have even roamed onto the Wild Soul a little bit. I did see Monkey King, you know, a couple of attempts, and like I keep going back to that mid fight where he just fed his bear and the Witch Slayer kill to the Monkey King, and they still just didn't get active off that. Like that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's a game changer kill, but that's 400 gold for the Monkey King off the bat for a misplay more than anything. So it's just unfortunate. I wanted to see a bit more, I suppose. But yeah, it is just a fun tournament, of course. Like, these teams probably aren't taking it completely seriously. Of course, you do see it is the Russian team. They have qualified for DreamHack, so they're obviously a strong team in some aspect. And with fun tournaments, sometimes you don't see that 100% potential come out, I suppose. But yeah, we'll be looking for another game, and I think we're going to take it to a Who's That Hero?
Sounds good.
If Dan's around.
That's right, sorry, I was just chatting to people in the chat. We're going to go to Who's That Hero? We'll be right back with some more excellent tournaments with the Dan, Emperor, and Mangy.
Oh, just really quick before you take it to that, Pew wanted me to let you guys know that he is giving away Deconstruct Tempest somewhere on his Facebook. All you have to do is go there, like his Facebook, like the post that he's put about the excellent tournament. I'll send you all the info through chat when it does, when the time arises, but that is a thing. So, yeah. Anyway, Who's That Hero?
Cool. We'll be right back.